Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. Greetings. Happy Thursday. I hope you're having a great day or you had a great day. Um, Omo, I no go take for this life. Oh. This one is chop chop. Yeah. So, ooh, man. Mm, where is this? Okay. Mm-hmm. Welcome, 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 welcome. Okay, I'm assuming that you guys saw the video from Peter Obi. You guys saw the what's it called? His speech at the John Hopkins University, right? I'm assuming no. Okay, we're gonna jump right into this. No time, no time, no. Let me just share the videos. I have questions coming. I have questions because come on now. Okay, let's do this. You guys can you see my screen? I'm sorry, guys. I think I had some connection problem there. Please let me know if you can hear me. Um, Apologies. It's pretty windy over here, so it's been affecting. I don't know. For some reason, the device is acting a little bit funky. Happy Thursday, oh, happy Thursday. Let's get this ball rolling right away, sharply. No time, no time, no time to waste. Alright, okay, there we go. No, wait. I gotta do it first.
All right, so the news says INEC moves to legalize voting without PVC in 2027. Tinubu, 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 They don't use that talk am now, so that when it happen, it no go surprise you again. So basically, in a nutshell, in 2027, all these people they don't need your vote again. They will just print that paper. They'll come carry some because now INEC only INEC fit provide the paper where una go vote, right? What they will now do is simple. They'll print papers where people go vote on, carry and go the normal location for voting. Then they'll print extra ones where they'll keep for house. APC now we can't just dig there to do like this. you know, last year when I said nobody can challenge Tinubu until 2032, Tinubu will do 8 years. They say they don't pay me. They say Tinubu don't pay me, an APC boy. You people are not seeing what I am seeing. Tinubu get the mind, he has the balls. And see the kind of people who use as in suicide. Akpabio and Wike, this stone cold man. See what they don't carry themselves now, won't do. So in that 2027 election now, zero. And as of today now, you see how many senators, how many governors, they don't start to the decamp, they go APC. No opposition again. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Jagaban. When I called him a strategist, they say they don't pay me. Say, are they supporting Tinubu? No. I was telling you people that this man, he says stone cold. You need different pattern of approach to follow this guy, man. Person never enter power. He tell you, say, Milo come. You never reach power. You don't even know I want to get him. He dey tell you what, say, Emilio come. It is my turn. Now, when he come this seat, now you walk up on sit down. See 2032. See 2032. But now you know the plan one I want to take use. Because this guy, man, I'm not trying to kill anybody's soul. I'm just here to say, I said it. I said it. From nowhere, they start propaganda. You know, like Igbos. You know, do this one. You know, like Hausa. They don't pay him. It's being used by the government. It doesn't stop by the government. No, it is because we don't see front. Hey, Tinubu, corruption. No, nobody, if not for corruption, I'm not sure say any no, or if you calculate all the old regime, whatever happened to this country, both military regime, there's none as corrupt as this president regime, this Tinubu regime. There's none as corrupt as this APC president Tinubu regime. No one. Everything is being done for his good. It can't be as if all of them in just whole game bad. Everybody nine boy. Nobody get talk of him own for this country anymore. Nobody has a voice. Governor talk, they suspend them for 6 months. I say governor don't go beg now. Governor don't go beg. Anything where one may happen, this is the Jagaban. You see? Our votes don't count no more. Your votes will not count. Nothing like we are going to vote. So if you like, go vote. If you like, no vote. Anything they want to do in 2027, they will do it by hook or by crook. God damn it, man. God damn it, man. I have a message for this on Wiki, and that will be my first post tomorrow morning. I have it that for Wiki especially. That's tomorrow morning. My first post is for Wiki in the morning. So anybody who know Wiki, when they send this video, give and say, okay, very that man say, in first post of tomorrow will be specially for this on Wiki, and I'll just do my small analysis, making see. APC, all problems, concussion part.
Hey, all right, on to the next. Let's see. Okay, that's the one. Here's the video.
I know actions have consequence, and the consequence I've been facing is not something that I expected I will face. So I just wanted to share it for maybe a new creator or someone who's going to come into the space eventually. So please listen. Every single time I make a post, these are the kind of comments that I get to see on my feed. Even though I see a lot of positive energy and good comments, I still get to see these ones. And I feel like majority of these people think that, oh, I went scot free. I've never dealt with any, repercussions. And that's why I'm making this video. So lately I noticed that I've been blacklisted among influencers. Initially I thought I was overthinking because naturally I overthink, right? So I'm like, oh, you're just overthinking this thing. It's not what you think. But then one of them just confirmed it for me. So 2 weeks ago or last week, an influencer reached out to me and said she wanted to work with me. And then she said, oh, we'll need to shoot videos and everything. She needs a digital camera and she's going to get it from her team. 2 days later, I didn't hear from her. So I had to text her first, like, what's up? You've not told me the feedback. She said her team said it's not going to be good for her image, for her brand. Yeah, that was what she said. But in my head, I'm like, what brand? Do you mean like brand image? Like, she just said, no, they just said for her brand. I said, okay, and I left it. However, lately, I've been in a lot of public and private spaces with these influencers as well. And I've also noticed a certain behavior. While they are super nice to me, as opposed to what people say, they're actually very nice. I've also noticed how careful they are. It's like they don't want to be seen or even like feel like they're around me or anything. That's how I felt like, oh, these people, it's obvious. Like, you understand? It's like when I'm creating content and I'm around them, they don't even want my fingernails to show. I went to a private space with other influencers. One even invited me to sit with them at a table. However, when they started creating content, after the talk and all, when they started creating content, I noticed how careful they were. As a girl, you always know, your instinct to always tell you that these people are struggling to avoid you. So when I noticed it, I became very uncomfortable and I tried to leave. The lady who invited me to sit with them, she noticed it and she said she's going to work me out. And when she started working me out, she was now trying to self-explain, like, oh, do you are you okay? Is everything okay? In my face, just me looking at my face, you could tell that everything was not okay. And then she just started saying, oh, it's not that we don't want to involve you in our content and all. She started saying, you don't really know which content will go viral. So I asked her, why are you so worried that creating content with me will go viral? Like, why are you worried about me being seen or going viral with you? The reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of people don't know that maybe I've been facing consequences, and being blacklisted is a consequence. Like I said, or I've not said this, but working in an office where you feel very uncomfortable with the people that you're working with, or they are behaving very careful around you, is actually a very big consequence. The loneliness that you feel being alone in this space is actually really heavy. And the reason why I'm making this video is not to bash any influencer or content creator that I've met recently, both in private and public space. It's just to say that if you know that I'm going to be a stain on your brand reputation, there's no need for you to try to be super nice to me. And also to the people that are always bashing me whenever I make a post about my personal life and I never talk about what I used to talk about, you should understand that it's because of security reason. I was one step away from being mobbed in public. Even the people in my corner, that were the ones who said, oh, you need to stop this, we'll take it from here because you live in this place and it's actually really dangerous for you. And that's why I stopped it and decided to go back to my normal life.
And you hear that? I'm sure you guys remember this girl, Raye. Talk to Raye, the one who started the 30-day round challenge. So they blacklisted her amongst her influencer friends. So she's come out and she's explaining this is where we are in Nigeria now, where even when you speak up with all the sufferings and everything that's going on, can they welcome or everything that's going on, they silence you, they find a way to silence you. They don't care. Okay, this is where we are. This is a young girl. She's still doing NYSC. So you can imagine, you know, people who are distancing themselves from her. To speak the truth is very, very difficult for even the small children for Nigeria. Everybody want to go to heaven, but nobody want to die. Okay? Everybody want to go to heaven in Nigeria, but nobody want to die. I don't know how they want to make it to the heaven that they preach about every single time. This is a young girl that single-handedly ensured that NYSC paid, increased, not only paid attention to them, increased the allowance that they get. Peanuts though, but she at least attempted it because of her voice. Now she's being blacklisted amongst young people like that. Is this not the type of person that people should be rallying around? Nigeria is such a frustrating place to stay. You can imagine what that is probably doing to this girl's mental health. I'm sure she's a strong girl, clearly. I mean, she's coming out and she's saying it, but not everybody has the courage that she has. Not everybody has the strength of mind that she has. She's coming out and she's expressing herself very clearly and explaining why she hasn't been seen. This girl has taken it upon herself to teach people how to make money in Nigeria, so you don't have to depend on the government, depend on men. If nothing different happens in 2027, forget it. For those of you that are saying election, you guys heard what this guy said now, a very dark man. In fact, not even him said it. What's his name? Yakubu. Which is Mahmoud Yakubu. He said they don't pass them. So they will accept paper voting. You know what that means? It's self-explanatory. So my question to people who are believing in election, how do you want to match that? This man is afraid. What I have observed is that Tinubu is afraid. He's afraid. That's why all the people, for instance, Okowa that just decamped to APC. There was a report that came out that EFCC was looking for him for monies that were missing, over 10 billion or something like that, or more. So he has no choice because these people have fields, okay? He has no choice but to decamp, all right? Only God knows what they have on Sheriff and what they have on, what's the other guy's name? On the one from Akwa Ibom State. This is where we are in Nigeria. So my question to everyone that is saying, oh, election, prepping, now they have changed the game. They're telling you that it is paper voting. Just like VDM said, is exactly what's going to play out. So my question is, are you able to match that? You remember, guys, I said it here, I'm like, these people, they are so desperate that people might be lining up and saying, oh, they want to go and thumbprint on paper. Can you imagine in 2025? You're going to thumbprint, before you know it, they'll declare results. That's what they intend to do. How ready are you? Are you ready to match paper voting? That's the real question that I'm asking. Hey, Mr. Ike, welcome. Oh, good evening, sir. That's the real question I'm asking. Are you ready to match the energy of these people? Because they've changed the game right in front of us. They've changed it. They are not telling you that they're going to use paper. They are doing away with PVC. They'll be shouting people, PVC. Now they want to do paper. So you'll go there, they go give you ink, you go thumbprint, or maybe now sign, you go sign. I don't know as they want to do it. Effective way, because they know they cannot cheat with electronics, so they want to convert it to paper. My question now be say, all the people when they hammer election 2027 election, if people will survive to that time of election 2027, are you people ready to match paper voting? Are you ready to match the voting? Oh God, no. They go print extra. While people are busy voting online, these people will be thumbprinting in a warehouse. You guys saw the way they did. They tried to do Natasha's recall. You saw videos that came out of how people were thumbprinting over and over again and signing. That's how they got their 250 250,000 signatures from a senatorial district. All lies, all trumped up. So my question to everyone that is, looking forward and saying, oh, voting, are you ready? Are you prepared? This man, apart from the fact, what I have observed is that T-Pain is afraid. He is. He sees the reaction. He sees what people, the guy is hearing everything that's going on. He knows, he can feel the energy from the people that is not good. He knows. So guess what? T-Pain is ready to take it by fire, by force. T-Pain is ready to snatch it, grab it, and run away. My question to those that are talking about 2027 election, are you able to match that energy? Now he has changed it. It's paper voting. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? There's no point in engaging and having people go and queue up, do paper voting, only for them to turn around and they declare. It's a waste. It's going to be a waste of people's time. Absolute waste of people's time. I mean, I shared Peter Obi's videos here where he was talking at John Hopkins. You guys heard some of the clips. I can even show it. I'm happy Peter Obi has stepped it up. He has stepped it up. I like the violence that's coming out from him. He's no longer, all that's my senior brother, my respected elder brother, all that, you don't throw away and put for one side. Okay? Let me play the few clips that I saved that I want us to quickly touch on. Oh, before I do that, did you guys hear about Pastor Ibi and Pastor, what's the other guy's name now? Abioye. Hey God, oh, they don't change them for now. They say to be poor is a sin. When I hear that one, meanwhile, na the same poor people backs. Now they say become wetin they do today for church. They for not know their name. If not be poor people, 5 naira, 10 naira. If not be poor people, when they go cook for their pastors, some of them they even give. They go give their houses to their pastors. Those pastors will not get yet stay. Now they turn around, they say to be poor is a sin. What you made it? So no wonder there's an escalation in crimes in Nigeria. No wonder people are doing whatever they need to do, because these are the types of messages that are coming out from the so-called pulpit in Nigeria. Imagine people, these people have no careers, they have no jobs. They are not doing anything, but they can point a finger at you, the same you that fed them, that put clothes on their back. These are they are pulpit bandits, as they call them. Thieves, just to come and steal people's hard-earned money, turn around and betray them. I don't know what betrayal is bigger than that. I don't know what it will take for the Nigerian Christians to wake up. These people don't give a damn about you. They are not interested in you. They are making money off of your backs. And these people are preaching these erroneous messages and people are clapping for them. They are telling you that Jesus Christ was never with the poor. Hey God, oh, I don't know, Sha. I just wanted to drop that. Nobody is saying anything about that. Everybody is quiet. Everybody, they quiet. The kind of atrocities when they go on for pulpits for Nigeria, everybody, they quiet. So one of what Peter Obi said was, he said, go to Nigeria, right? The youths are being paid, they are being paid 20,000 by politicians to abuse you on social media, even as you are fighting for their lives. I'm glad he's saying it out loud. Is there a lie in that? No, there's none. There's no lie in it at all. Okay? Somebody updated him and said it's 30K now. It's no longer 20K. And then he also said, we don't need a second tenure. I believe it's part of our problem. In 5 years, a serious leader can show the right direction. Where is the lie? Burkina Faso is doing it under 2 years. 5 years too far. We went too far in going into America's system of capitalism. I'm glad he's saying it out loud. Somebody asked him a question, something about culture and stuff like that. And he said, something about, the West interfering and stuff like that. He now said, well, If the people, the person that is in charge, he's not stealing, and I'm summarizing here, right? Outsiders will not have access. It's because they themselves are not doing the right thing. That's why they are compromised. So anybody can come and negotiate peanuts with them, and they will take it because they don't care. And I'm summarizing his response. Yeah? Okay. And then he says Bangladesh is not earning in oil. They earn on clothes production. There are many tailors in Nigeria. Let's empower them and develop our raw material production. You guys know it's always about production with Peter Obi. And then here, he says, I don't know where our leaders are. The president said he's going for a trip for 2 weeks. After that, he extended. When you choose to be in public life, the public must know where you are. The guy, they drop violence every corner. Here's your INEC Mahmoud. INEC moves to legalize voting without PVC in 2027 general election. Fraud written all over him from top to bottom. And then before then, maybe T-Pain will now change. I'm going to come back here because VDM did a video where this man, is it Bago they call him? I don't know. Niger State governor, where he said they should capture any young person with dreadlocks and chop it off. So I think he made a U-turn about it after that VDM's videos, right? About cutting the hair. He made the U-turn. So he responded. But I want us to go through Peter Obi's videos first. Okay. Let me see here. He says, okay, I already went through that. Okay, did you guys know that there was a protest going on? Abuja primary school teachers and area council workers protest over unpaid entitlements in SCT. Nobody carried it. No national network news, nothing. Look at it. 1.3 trillion. I'm sorry, guys. I said billion. EFCC. Remember, there was a time the EFCC arrested Delta State ex-governor over alleged 1.3 trillion diversion. Is there any surprise why he's now moved over to APC? No, it shouldn't surprise you. It should not surprise you at all. These people don't care. They're all about their pockets. All about their pockets. They don't care. This is where we have gotten to in Nigeria. So now my question be that, what are people planning to do in 2027?
Another Nigerian youth, wake up. How many blood we want to see shed? How many bodies do we want to see dead? How many mothers and sisters do we want to see raped before we speak? How many businesses do we want to see collapse? How much money do we want to see given out as ransom before we get up and question the government? You see, we either speak now or die forever as slaves. For history has no place for cowardice. It erased their names and only remembers the braves. They are northern Nigeria youth. Our children are going to ask us questions. Our grandchildren are going to ask us questions. Get up north. It's time we demand for change. Enough of the killing. Enough of the bloodshed. This is the call to action. Our children deserve to live a life better than the one we live. And northern Nigerian youth, wake up. How many blood?
Well, I'm glad that the North is taking up a mantle and speaking up on their own. They are doing their own. I don't know what the South is up to. Let me go back to that video. Meanwhile, it looks like Labour Party people are sensitizing, going from place to place. I don't know, but I mean, nobody has come to answer this question that I have. if they're going to be using paper voting, how ready are the people? How ready are Nigerians? That's the question I have.
All right, so to the executive governor of Niger State, Mr. Muhammad Umaru Bago, as you all know, recently passed a law that if you get dreadlocks for in states because of insecurity, they go cut your dreadlocks. You know, and because of the backlash on social media and everywhere, I think he made a reversal, right? Let's play the video before I say some things, right? Because there's something I want to say. May the governor self know, say we self get plan for if to say in no make reversal, we get plan for
Yesterday, we read the Royal Act on hooliganism, and people misconstrued our words for people who have dreadlocks. We don't have problem with dreadlocks, but we have problem with the cult here with dreadlocks. So if you have dreadlocks and you have business, please come to Niger State. All that is a media propaganda. We are not driving dreadlocks from Niger State. We are only driving that cult.
All right, so if I say the plan will get for, I have to say no change. I will have to first give him a shout out, right? Because it shows that this man is actually a leader. You understand? He's a leader. Because not only leaders, they hear within the people they talk. Not be every politician for this country where we say backlash will come, they go answer. But at least he should say him be leader. Now why in listening? And the leader listens to his people. So shout out to you, the executive governor of Niger State. Thank you for listening to the people. That's number one. Number two, honestly, governor, if to say as people they talk, you know, yeah, I'd already planned to report you to the National President of Dreadlocks Association, Nelson Wike's son. So you can see him there. You see his connection. You have gone to meet president versus president. Nelson Wike's son, I'm the leader of all dreadlocks. So like this now. So if to say Wike now, come your state with him Peking for a meeting. You for whole Wike down, bad in Peking here. You for see now. So you know Papa now. The terrorists of other politicians, like, they for suspend you. They for suspend you for 6 months. They will suspend you, come on. Bring a sole administrator, come. They will block your states. If to say you try and for reports, and Wike's son will match to that state. But anyways, let's go back to the real issue. Shout out to the governor for listening to your people. It shows that you are a leader and God bless you. This is the kind of leadership that we want in Nigeria. People where they listen. You understand? So far, so good. You have done a lot in your state. I've never been to your state before. I never come your state like properly look inside. But people that are living there, when I know, say, oh, the governor, they try. You understand? And adding listening to people to whatever you do, she'll say, you na realest OG. Now, let's go to the issue of dreadlocks. It is stereotyping, you understand? By even saying something like that, it means you want to take their rights to choice, their right to choose. You understand? Their right to choose is a very important right. A person that wants to look anyhow he wants is his choice. So if I say the person know they dress naked or the person know be transgender, even all those cross dressers, don't shoot them come off our community. Please, don't slap anybody. Thank you very much. But my point is this. People want to wear dress, they want to carry hairstyle, whatever thing they want to carry, that's your business. You understand? But nobody say you could just come tag them to insecurity. Meanwhile, we all know, say the people where they cause insecurity for all these other places, these people are well-looked people, that they dress well. You don't even know, say that they do anything. Call them, maybe they ask anybody where they don't rescue from kidnappers recently, they'll tell you. Most of the times people are carrying and go bush, they don't get dreadlocks, they look okay, you know. But ultimately, shout out to you, Executive Governor of Niger State, Muhammad Umaru Bago. God bless you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And don't play still. Else you go learn and you move land the hard way. Don't play.
Hey, oh my God. All these defections up and down. Defection, defection. Everybody want, and they wait when somebody said, I think I read it somewhere, say, it remain INEC when never defect. INEC and which other people know? I don't know. I don't run that judiciary they talk sha, but it remain there whenever. Nigeria, oh. Hell. Omo. Sometimes you go hear Nigerian news, it dey shock person for ear. So officially now, PDP party don unalive patapata. Yeah? PDP as we know it is gone. Bye bye. It is over. Because all this defection up and down, it shows that there's something foundationally wrong with that party. Their leader, Atiku, is not even helping the matter. You know, they help. I don't even know wetin na greed na be that man problem. Greed. If to say not be greed, that party for sisters sustain. Na in greed, na carry the party reach where it is so. So he's guilty. And then Wike dey outside, Wike go outside, just rip the party stem to stem, limb to limb. Now it rip the party. He no send wetin concern am. Wike does not care. Wetin concern am, he no care. Make I play this video. Now the only video when I go play be this from Raye. Omo. Anybody want to get anything to add? Abeg, join the panel. Let me know your thoughts.
Well, the PDP acting national chairman has described the defection of the governor of Delta State and other leaders in the state as least expected. Well, speaking during the presentation of certificate of return to the party's candidate in the forthcoming Anambra State governorship election, Damagum notes that the fate of PDP in 2027 will not be determined by the number of governors it has, but by a fight between Nigerians and the ruling All Progressives Congress and its policies.
It's very sad and unfortunate, because to me, if there's any state that should think that way, not Delta, because the party is very magnanimous. I thank God that in their message, they didn't say that the party did anything wrong to them, other than good. It's a decision taken by them, but the pains will be in us.
All of us here, that PDP, Anambra State is a PDP state. Especially our leader is the PDP Anambra State. Everybody contesting the election in Anambra State now, we are once a candidate or aspirant in PDP. Even the serving governor now.
Meanwhile, the national chairman of the governing All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, says more governors will join the party. He also expressed confidence that the 2027 general elections is a done deal for his party, the APC. Ganduje was speaking in his residence in Abuja when he received some prominent members of the new Niger from Kano State, led by Senator Kawu Sumaila, and the former secretary to the state government, Dr. Abdullahi Bafa Bilchi, who defected to the APC barely 24 hours after mass defections in Delta State.
Well, for more on the repercussions of this mass defection on the PDP and the 2027 elections, we're joined now by public communications expert, Professor Okeke Chukwu, and Raye's analyst, Mahmoud Jega. Thank you, both of you gentlemen, for joining us on News Night tonight. Let me start with you, Prof. First off, your thoughts on this, defections in Nigeria, and especially ones that I've seen in the last few days. Would you say that these defections really stem from, some kind of ideology that aligns with the national ethos or political ethos of the country? What are your thoughts about these defections?
I think the general perception is that the defections are instigated by personal political interests and pressures connected with it. So it's not about ideology. If you also look at those who are defecting or those who are defected, you must also ask yourself, what's the ideology they had before from which they've switched? And what ideology they say is making them join another party? They say, I'm just defecting to this party. So bandwagon is personal interaction, political culture. So all of that is on the table. But the other thing to note is that there's nothing criminal in political defection. You can defect to another political party out of conviction. That, look, I believe this is where the welfare of the people will be better served, so I'm joining them. But that's not what we're hearing. Is a lot of undercurrent. 2027 is a strong element. You discover that you probably, the ruling party is probably so strong and growing, much stronger, that by the time we get to 2027, your chances will be diminished if you're not in that party. That could make you defect. It's quite possible there's inducement, among so many other things. So it is not unusual to defect. Convictions can change, even people in their religion. But the point, and that is what makes it appear to stink, is that almost every observer suspects, let me not say believes, that those defecting are not defecting for any clear ideological reasons.
Mahmoud Jega, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I want to ask you, are you as surprised as the PDP when it comes to the Delta case? But most importantly, at the peak of its success as a party, the PDP controlled, I guess, about 29 states, if I'm not wrong, in 2007. And I wonder if all this talk about the collapse of opposition and democracy is much ado about nothing. Haven't we seen this pattern before?
As the PDP official was saying, defections are not new in Nigerian politics. And at the height of PDP's power, people were defecting from all the opposition parties into it. And it was smugly confident and boasted that it will rule for 60 years. Well, that didn't happen because the opposition coalesced and major parts of PDP also broke away. But you see, when you talk about surprise, I was personally surprised that this should start in Delta State, because Delta is one of the most, or has been one of the most solidly PDP states since 1999. It has never been ruled by any other party apart from PDP. And from here, I cannot also see any threat to PDP's continued dominance of that state. But of course, the politicians will know better. You know, in secondary school geography, we were told that when people move from one place to another, like from rural areas to urban areas, there are both pull factors and push factors. Now, one can see that if you are an ordinary PDP member, you're quite despondent right now because the party is really in a mess. And even the national leadership, with the national chairman that was saying all that sad and unfortunate development, the national leadership is strongly suspected to be in the APC pockets right now. Now, about the pull factor, it is difficult to what is the pull factor in APC right now, because with the current economic situation in the country, the party, people should actually be running away from it. I don't see why anybody should go there when it is not very popular at this time, except, as Prof said, you see the power of the federal resources, security agencies, and treasury, and everything. And since these politicians are essentially thinking about their own personal survival and viability, they don't really care about what the people think or feel. They feel that this is the place to go where you will be secure electorally because of the money and the power and everything at the 2027 elections. That's the only way you can understand that people from NNPP and PDP are flocking into APC at this time. It is not because it is a very, very popular party in the minds of many Nigerians at this time.
So, Prof, if based on what Malam Mahmoud Jega has just said, that the APC ordinarily is not exactly as popular as one would expect it to be, at least in his own view. Now, when you defect to the APC from the opposition party to the APC, is that not an endorsement of what ordinarily seems to be a party that's not delivering on the goods, whether you're talking about, security, the economy, even democracy as a whole? So how do you explain this? When you compare with what happened in 2014, where people jumped ship from the governing party, the PDP, and joined this behemoth of a coalition called the APC that eventually took over power in 2015. How do you describe what is going on now?
Well, when you say that the APC is not popular, my question would
That's
be...
according to what Malam
Yes. Who is saying so?
Yes.
You see, the elite who are defecting find it a popular platform because, like even Mahmoud said, it will enable them to actualize certain ambitions. So if you're looking at it, a political elite that wants survival is looking at a platform for power, not a platform to offer public service. And to that extent, APC becomes attractive. So the issues on the table, people are being killed, there's hunger in the land, inflation is everywhere. Now, that's you and I saying that, not the elite who are making these exchanges. The other point also to note, perhaps, even if mischievously, is that who is really responsible for what we are seeing today? Many of us believe that a lot of people are not did not get to the National Assembly or all kinds of office by pure electoral engagement. Now, if I am taking part in an election, and for you to vote for me, I give you 20,000. Having given you 20,000, quite frankly, I have no obligation to you for the next 4 years because I paid you upfront at the rate of a salary of 5,000 naira per annum for 4 years.
So the idea that this could be a betrayal of those who voted, for them does not even arise.
It doesn't arise. Betrayed, they didn't vote, they were paid off. That's number one. Now, those who spend that money are trying to recoup their money. So they are looking for a place that will be attractive for them to achieve what they set out to achieve, which is get to political office, make as much money as you can, live like a king at the expense of everyone else, because that's what we are seeing. Last year's budget, I think it performed, was it 40%? What happened to the 50%? And who is complaining? Nobody. Those whom it's supposed to impact, nothing happened. People are moving with excitement into new political platforms. So it's not about leadership, it's not about service, it's about personal political future in an environment where people are dying of hunger.
Mahmoud Jega, I would like to stretch further my initial question to you to say that this is not a new pattern. We've seen a political party in the country that was dominant at the center and at the subnationals. What is making it so different this time around that the alarm bells are ringing? And then if opposition political parties are, failing and democracy is crumbling, like is being said, where does that leave the Nigerian voter that goes through the rigor of accreditation, getting the PVCs, going on, bracing the weather conditions to cast a ballot, to bring in an individual to office? And then from the confines of his office or wherever they meet, they decide to defect to another party.
Yeah, it has been an issue since the start of this republic. One is elected on the platform of one political party, and then he moves to another political party without abandoning the position that he acquired on the platform of another party. It leaves, you are asking about the Nigerian voter, it leaves him where he has always been, which is stranded. So the only thing that even the APC should not gloat too much, because you see, when too many people flock into your political party, not for any altruistic reasons or ideological or anything, they come out of a desperate calculation as to how they can grab political offices. Now, there is a limit to the number of people who can get political offices. So the contests in the primary elections are going to be very tough and very bitter. And those who came to your party in order to be able to be better positioned to grab certain positions. If they don't get them, make no mistake about it, they didn't come for altruistic reasons. If they didn't get what they were hoping to get, they could as well move on. The next election is still 2 years away, and the way Nigerian politicians are, one should not be glutton at this stage. We must wait and see what happens by 2027.
How do we clean up our political party system? We had Chief Bode George on the morning show, who actually, talked about a time when the political party was in charge. The political party was the one voted for. And so if a candidate, for example, decides to decamp, he loses his seat. How do we clean up the political party system in a way that it strengthens, the political parties? And shouldn't there be consequences for this, jumping of ship here and there?
There ought to be. To begin with, it's to affirm the primacy of the party and not the candidate. I believe something like that is in the law books, or is it in the constitution, in the guidelines? It needs to be enforced. Even from the crisis arising from Rivers State, it's obvious that there are conflicting court judgments, and people feel, I understand, outraged that people, that the paradigm that means that says if you leave your party, you've lost, is not being upheld. That's number one. Number two, and more critically, is for the parties to actually become political parties. They are not political parties. They are election securing platform.
Oh, special purpose
vehicles for the acquisition of political office. Because think about it, there is nothing going on among all the parties as I speak, but big men meet. Now, when it's close to election, some money is budgeted, they will come down to, okay, Ikechukwu is in charge of this area, he has some money, he makes things happen there. Therefore, there's no real party membership, whether we like it or not. There's no real party loyalty, there's no real ideology. And to that extent, being that they are not parties, what are you going to clean up? But the difference can come from focused leadership, which is a party, for instance, can decide to become one by ensuring that there are party activities every quarter in every state, wherever they are. You say, okay, start from the ward. Okay, ward chairman, let's suppose this is my state. All ward chairman in this state, please hold a meeting and bring me ideas on what you think we can do. Now, they're not going to bring fantastic ideas, but you're making them to get together, meet each other, talk among themselves, meet with their members. You move from ward to local government, then the party chairman, all of that becomes activity that generate conversation, that enables who has some capacity and all of that. Now it's not happening across any of the parties. What happens is that, okay, I know you, just follow me around long enough, we'll see where we'll put you. So many more people are looking for positions, not responsibility or leadership, and that's where we are today. To clean it up, enforce the law that the party is not is primary and not the candidate, and secondly, let the parties do real membership recruitment and mobilization.
Interesting. Mamu Jega, someone described political parties in Nigeria as a convergence of political entrepreneurs. They're just there for themselves. But let me ask you, just as Ngozi has asked Prof here, how do we ensure that political parties can actually work? And are they even to blame for what we're seeing? Because there are those who have said these defections are being, individuals are being coerced to defect. There's a talk of harassment, fifth columnists, the governing party, destabilizing the opposition parties. You hear all of these talks. So can we really blame the political parties for what we are seeing, and how do we clean it up?
I'm glad I was not asked the question that Prof was asked, that how do we really clean, because you see, those of us who are old enough to remember the political parties of the Second Republic, there is a world of difference between those ones and what we have had since 1999. The parties of the Second Republic, you could see where almost all of them stood, whether on the right or on the left, some were quite ideological, some were. But this time, you see, nobody can really say what a political party stands for, apart from the conglomeration of people. If you are asked what is PDP in Nigeria or what is APC, you can only say because so people are the ones in there. You can hardly say what is its program. about almost anything, and that applies to all the major parties. But the particular problem that we have at this time is the subterranean subversion of the main opposition, PDP, by the ruling APC. Because as anybody can see, the PDP National Working Committee is beholden to a minister who is in the APC cabinet, and then the other most powerful organ of PDP, which is the governors. When they met last time in Ibadan, they declared that they have nothing to do with coalition or alliances towards 2027. Now, that sounds very much like trying to hand over the election beforehand to the ruling party, because how can any serious politician at this stage say he is ruling out all consideration of alliances or mergers or anything? It is different if you don't want to follow the presidential candidate, former one Atiku Abubakar, or the LP presidential candidate. But to rule out coalitions and alliances sounds suspiciously like maybe it's not just the governor of Delta State, maybe the majority of the PDP governors are also on their way out. That was my own reading of the situation.
Prof, this might sound like a joke, but it really isn't. Somebody asked, is there any need for INEC to be given billions of naira, to conduct elections, if at the end of the day there are no ideological, lines whatsoever? We have this situation where people are defecting from party A to B to C and back to A, and what have you. That on the one hand. About a week ago, Malam Jega just referred to him, the FCT minister, made a statement, and it seemed that a lot of people did not take note of what he said. He said Nigerian politics is really not about who is the best man. It's not about popularity. It's really about, who can muzzle.
And Les Schwab are above and beyond
the most. Does that really define our democracy, our politics?
Today, yes, that's what defines it. He's making a statement of fact. It's not about who is the best, it's about who can push his way through. Pushing your way through, maybe through money, maybe through undermining others, etc. That's the point. But on the point Mahmoud made about APC destabilizing PDP and all the others, is a point that's all over the place. But I keep saying,
right,
you must be extremely incompetent, helpless, unstrategic, or perhaps foolish or crippled for the problem, all the problems you have to be coming from your neighbor. PDP is yes, nobody has addressed the shamelessness of this allegation, particularly from respected PDP members. It is APC causing our trouble, for goodness sake. APC was once an opposition party. The PDP never spared it in any way, but it muscled itself to power. And you're now saying, now, do you expect us to come and cry on your behalf, to come and rescue you, a vehicle that's supposed to rescue the people? There was a state of emergency in Rivers State. They said, Nigerians should rise and oppose it. Which Nigerians? When your members in the National Assembly did not rise and oppose it, you're talking about the man who cannot buy fish anymore to eat, but is buying crayfish to make his soup, to rise. Is it rising from hunger or from poverty? So that's an element of the crisis that needs to be contemplated. The PDP, the opposition is incompetent. But on the matter of whether INEC is a platform for conducting elections, the electoral process is part of the democratic process. Now, the subversion of that process by the behavior of the participants is a different matter from whether or not INEC is a necessary institution. It is a necessary institution. The police is a necessary institution. That some police people are alleged to behave badly doesn't remove the need for it. Right. We are looking at an institution that's not optimal in terms of both performance and profile. But as to whether or not it must conduct elections, it must spend money doing that, it must pay electoral officers, it must pay for logistics, it must pay for printing papers. So abolition of INEC or the question of whether it should exist, I'm not sure.
I guess the fundamental question is: do people need to vote? You know, if the votes at the end of the day
Let's
look like
quickly give Mahmoud
we'll
Jega 20 seconds for a final word. Mahmoud Jega, how would you describe the state of the Nigerian democracy, given all that we have discussed tonight?
You know, the major political parties, their institutions, their organs are hardly functioning. They are supposed to hold national executive committee meetings, I think, every quarter, and a convention every 2 years. And they are not doing that. APC is not doing that. PDP is not doing that. The Labour Party, you are not even sure who is the leader. There are 3 leaderships. I think one, Apapa, then there is the caretaker committee led by the former Minister of Finance, and then there is the man who refused to leave. So that kind of organization, and the political parties are the main instruments for political mobilization and also for contesting elections. You can't contest election without the political parties because they are the organs recognized by the Constitution. And if all of them are in a messy situation like this, then you cannot possibly say that the democratic experiment in Nigeria is healthy at this point.
How would you describe or define our democracy?
A democracy on crutches and in danger of going into coma, mainly because those who are supposed to make it democratic are busy focusing on plunder rather than service delivery, and because also the electorate thinks that it can behave badly and then get good leadership.
Right. And there's no better way to live it tonight. Mahmoud Jega, Raye analyst.
Stay humble. Welcome. Good sister. Thank you for coming. Unmute. You can unmute your mic. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Good morning. It's early morning here.
Oh, okay. It's good evening for me as well. Hey, Fan Fresh, welcome. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So what I had a question earlier. I might as well just start by asking you. You know, INEC has switched now. They've switched their strategy. It's going to be paper voting, not PVC. They're not going to be using PVC, at least according to what I read. So my question now to those who are saying, oh, election 2027 and all of that, how do you intend to match these people? That's my question to everybody that, you know, anyone who can possibly give some sort of response. Because look, these people are defecting, right? Most of the PD people have defected to APC. I hear the Kano State governor is under heavy pressure to come to defect to the APC. They've already, Kwankwanso is on his way. He's signing paper, signing documents so that he can formalize his transfer because we saw him with the picture. Okay, so now the question when I get to that.
So I think I have a different view from the popular opinions.
Okay, let's hear it.
Regarding the defections.
If you have anything, if you want to come and share your opinion, please request Michael. She say I do organization today now. I come here. So I can't talk. I'm not going to do talking. Now quiet, I go quiet. Go ahead, sir. Thank you very much. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, so regarding the defections, I think it was expected because you know, this will not be the first time there will be this gale of defections before presidential elections. These have happened in the past, even during the time of Obasanjo. Even during Buhari's time, some people defected to PDP before Atiku contested in 2019. During Obasanjo's time, you know, it was even worse than this. You know, if Obasanjo almost made Nigeria one-party state, you know, just the difference is just the internet. And many people are now involved. Those days, maybe few of us, that were reading the newspapers then, and they were mocking us, like, yeah, 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 like, why would you waste your time of all the things your mates are doing, playing video games and stuff? You're just reading newspapers. So we just knew those things those days. But because of the internet now, it's easy to just disseminate information, and people will get those information. So it's not new. Even in the time during the military, when Abacha wanted to turn himself to a civilian president, so many people, went to him and said that they had searched all over Nigeria and they didn't find any other person capable except him, Abacha. That was when Bola Ige wrote something about five fingers of a leprous hand, because five political parties came together and said that Abacha was the best after jollof rice. So, these have happened in history. So it wouldn't be new. Like, to people who are to people who are conversant with Nigeria's history, yeah, it's not new, really. But maybe to the Gen Zs and some people who had not really been like very politically informed, it's
Mhm.
novel to them. So it's not. It would even get worse. People will be bought. Media practitioners, clerics, what have you, even people that you so much trust in the present that, oh, these people are in the same boat with us, they will defect, you know. But, those things really don't matter, really, because, to me, I think Nigeria's political culture and ecosystem is just homogeneous, and people usually say that there is no ideology. Yeah, I think there is ideology, which is just ideology of grabbing power and cutting away the commonwealth of the people, stealing money and the rest. That's the unifying ideology of the political class. We don't have an alternative yet because we keep on copying. Like in the video you played, people like Mahmoud Jega, who are among the people that have been bought in the last election, he was spokesperson for Tinubu's campaign, and prior to that, he was seen as a neutral person, someone that was a brilliant analyst, a brave person, someone that was advocating for a better Nigeria, So those are some of those people who will be bought. They are up for grabs, really. So, saying that they are supposed to be convention every 2 years, this and that. We borrowed all those things from America, trying to copy America in everything. We mustn't copy America,
That's
Like I
what
think
Peter Obi
when,
said. Did
eh?
you listen to Peter Obi's speech at John Hopkins? He
Yeah,
mentioned that he alluded to it, like, we're trying to copy everything from the US, right? We can't,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
So the day we get it right, we actually sit down and look at ourselves and try to formulate our own policies and our own ideals based on what will suit us, and with time modify them, not just copying into to what America is doing. Because we copying America bicameral, legislative, national security advisor, this and all those things, just copying America, just shamelessly and mindlessly copying them, without just like that. Regarding the electoral reforms, I was on a forum, I think that was Niger Watch, some time ago, and I said something opposing coalition, and he asked me whether I was a Tinubu supporter. Just sometimes when maybe you have a view different from the populist view, then I start suspecting, yeah, you sure this one is not one of the bad idiots? or something.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, but so regarding the electoral reforms, yeah, I've always held this opinion because I followed elections in Nigeria from in 1999. Probably I was too young then, but at least 2003, I followed everything from A to Z, 2020, 2007, and the rest. And in all those elections, I discovered that it was not about the process. Yes, we've made a lot of advancements. In fact, I think we have one of the most sophisticated electoral systems in Africa. The 1992 election that was just the freest and fairest in our history was without any PVC or any of those electronic or sophistication. But it was free and fair because the key actors were determined. They had a political will to make it free and fair. Yeah, at the onset. So I think it was at the twilight of the whole election that the powers that be, the real owners of Nigeria, who are outside Nigeria anyway, decided that look, we wouldn't allow the results to be announced. You understand? But it was clear that the actors within Nigeria wanted it to go on without any interference. You understand? So, and there was no PVC then, there was nothing. So, and over the years, we've had a lot of things: permanent voters card, BVAS, IREV, and all those things. And we've had electoral reforms even before the 2023 election. People were calling for electoral reforms, and then the National Assembly sat down and then did some reform. Even if they sit down again and do reforms, alter some of the laws and stuff, and these people want to manipulate the system, they will still go ahead and manipulate the system. Yeah, I think at this stage, what we should be talking about, because we are a bit late now on, what I would call a diaspora rebellion. You understand? The diaspora coming together because we keep on trying to use their system. We in diaspora, we keep on crying, no, Nigeria is no good, Nigeria is no good. But we always want to use their system. We always want to use their party system, which is not even working, which is not even existing. They don't, there are no political parties. They are just vehicles for grabbing power and stealing money. So if the Nigerians in diaspora, who are one of the most powerful groups in the world, just that maybe they've not realized their potentials, or they're just too weak-minded to act. 95% of Nigerians in diaspora don't even want to discuss anything geopolitics or whatever. They're just interested in going for their shifts, making some money, buying houses, buying cars, giving birth to children, traveling to Albania and some other nondescript locations, and that's it. Moving to another greener pasture. And that is it, fertile cycle. So coming together and forming a very strong political structure that will upstage the current one that we have in Nigeria and start doing things the way they should be done. If you talk about how to actually be in a political party, run a political party, not the way PDP or APC or Labour Party, or not the way they do their convention. Oh, it has to be what? Local government. No, a different system altogether. We're a bit late in that. But yeah, at this stage, what people should even be talking about is how to defend their votes, not even how to campaign for P2B. P2B doesn't need campaign. The campaign stage was 2022.
It's already been
This
done.
stage, if Nigerians go to the polls tonight as we are talking, okay, more than 80% of Nigerians will cast their votes for P2B. That's for sure. What we're talking about is how to defend those votes. And electoral reforms will not defend those votes for you, for sure.
That's true. Okay.
You understand? Yeah.
That makes sense, actually. What you just said now, your breakdown does make sense because you're absolutely right. I agree with you. Peter Obi, but Peter Obi has not come out to say he's contesting. Sha. He has not formally come out. So everybody is just assuming because of the
We'll
way
drag
he's
him.
moving.
We'll drag him because at the moment,
He's the only one.
there is no other person.
Yeah, he's the only hope.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention something about this coalition.
Go ahead.
Yes,
Yeah,
I just want to set the record straight because you remember the last time I was here,
right.
one guy came up and was shouting, screaming. Yeah, it's not about talking loudly and screaming. It's about making the vital points that it doesn't know, they didn't know what was happening. That Tinubu is a very powerful. Look, these people um the Gagavi Hyundai will always say that they are CIA assets, and most of the things they do, they are from the playbook of the CIA.
Right.
What the things they did in 2015 elections, they have a book in a script. They copy. This is what you do. This is how you attack your opponents. This is how you call them. Call him Pete Obi. Call him this and that trader. All those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
So part of their strategy also is to weaken. Is that psychological warfare to give you that impression that Tinubu is indomitable
Right.
and nobody can defeat him. He's invincible.
Mm-hmm.
So, people are now running away with that impression that this guy cannot be defeated, that there must be a coalition. All those things they are the ones propagating those things, trying to push those things into you so that you would be um um you will try to engage your mind more with issues like coalition, electoral reforms. People like, let's say, Atiku, El-Rufai. People have very, very short memory span in Nigeria, unfortunately. People have forgotten how Atiku's people campaigned against Peter Obi. In fact, in the 2023 election,
Yeah, that's
APC we are still busy because Tinubu wasn't sure of getting the ticket. So Tinubu's people were still busy fighting Buhari, and Buhari's people were busy fighting Tinubu. The people fighting P2B were the PDP people. Remember, the Daniel Boalas, the Reynolds, the Dejadean Jews. You remember, it was the Atiku's people. Even Atiku granted an interview saying that his voters were not online, that they were, his voters were just illiterate and stuff. So it was the PDP people that fought P2B both online and offline. This El Rufai, now that some people have been unleashed online, they say, oh, P2B should have a coalition with El Rufai. I don't like that idea. I don't like that. It's better to lose doing the right thing. So I don't like the idea of a coalition with a character like El Rufai, even characters like Atiku Abubakar. The most important coalition is the coalition of the Nigerian people. Because these guys, even if you listen to what some of these northern disgruntled elements are saying, people like Prophet Usman, Hakim Baba Ahmed, their grudge is that they have been pushed out of the table. You understand? If Tinubu
right.
invites them tomorrow back
They
to
will
the
change their
table,
mind. Yes,
they will change their mind. So these are not the kind of people that you should fraternize with if you are really fighting for a better Nigeria.
that's true.
You understand? So the most important coalition, what P2B is doing is very good. He's building bridges, especially in that north, where it's easier for them to read. Because
Mm-hmm.
what they do is that they might tell you that they have 170 something thousand polling units. More than 50% of those polling units do not even exist. You understand? They are just
Yeah.
ghost polling units.
Yeah.
More than 50% of maybe the names on the voters register, they don't exist. They're just ghost name. But so they will make up, the figures they will allocate to be are just made up.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So if there are if they say, oh, that so polling units has 500 registered voters, you understand? Maybe it might just be 100 or 1/5. You understand? And then those people might turn up and cast their votes and even probably defend their votes. And they count the vote and say, oh, 100 people. Maybe out of them, maybe 70 out of the 100 might vote for P2B. You understand? So at the end of the day, the remaining 400 that are ghosts, they will allocate them to their different parties. And they will win. All right?
Yeah.
They will win, especially in the north. So even some of those states like Gombe, where P2B even won, a lot of local governments there. A place like Southern Borno, where he won, overwhelmingly, even Adamawa, Taraba, all those ghost polling units are what they used to just, cook up things and win. He did well, even in places like Katsina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what happened at the end of the day? So, so he's trying to build bridges, not with people like Atiku or this, but with some of even those their clerics, some of those people that were told, because some people actually did not know P2B.
Yeah.
Yes, and some people were made to believe that P2B was a very evil person.
Mm.
And that Niboma once becomes president, that he will divide Nigeria.
Right.
So all those sentiments.
Yeah.
So some people that have been paid to push those sentiments into the hinterland. So that's what he's now trying to do. Now they are now saying, oh, what we've been told about this man is not true.
Right.
So next time they now go to push those, they'll say, no, we've seen this man, we've been with this man all through these 2, 3, 4 years. And what you are telling us about this man is not true. He's a good man. So those places that they would manipulate the figures, because he doesn't need to go to the South. The Southerners know what to do. If they can't defend their votes, then they continue suffering. But the North, they might not be that educated and stuff to know the right thing. So he needs to go to them and try to build those bridges. And that's what he's doing. He's also going around the world. Don't forget that there is a demographic also that is not like a computer, internet demographic. They know how to use the internet, but they were not born in the internet era. All those people that are, let's say, professors in Harvard and all those people, they are still very influential. You understand? And we don't know what those people are doing in the background as well. So people that just come out to criticize, based on maybe what one Julius Abure or whatever they are doing in Labour Party or at that surface level. We don't know what's happening at the background. This man knows his game, the game he's playing, and he's not revealing his secrets to them because they want to know his secrets, but they don't know his plan. All right.
Yeah.
So
And I'm glad he's keeping it quiet. To be honest with
yeah,
you, I think that's a very, very smart move that he's making. I hope let him sustain it. And I like the fact that he's coming out stronger, as in more firm and sticking with it. So instead of being polite, that politeness was getting under my skin because you're dealing with demons. People, you don't civility does not. They don't understand civility. You're literally dealing with people who are, for lack of better word, animals. To be honest, so
exactly. Yeah, I
I'm.
think
Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, the next election, people should really approach it, like we are dealing with, like we are dealing with animals, really, because people were confident the last time that, sorry, Professor Mahmoud
Yeah.
had promised
Mm-hmm.
that everything would be standard, and then people just went to bed. Oh, that once we cast our votes for Peter Obi, that he will go to Aso Rock. Because I think that if people had known, you understand, if they had given, people little impression that things might go amiss, people would have been prepared, because that radicality was still there. That
Mm-hmm.
radicality coming from, the NSAS era was still left in people. You understand? People
Yeah.
have better financial standing than they have now. Like
Mm-hmm.
now, they've impoverished people.
Yep, they have. They've worsened people's
Yeah.
means of life. The people don't even have means of livelihood anymore. And I'm glad you touched on the coalition, because I was going to ask questions about that. You hear people saying initially, when everybody kept coming, people had rumors that, oh, Peter Obi is about to join a coalition. That was thrown out there. And I was like, Obi knows better, but if that man mistake go join coalition, when they go take swallow am up, omo, I wash my hand off o. But in a way, I felt this, he knows what he's doing. I really don't want Peter Obi to join any coalition. He's a movement all by himself. He doesn't need all those people. He really doesn't. And you're very right about, as Nigerians, we don't need to campaign for Peter Obi. He's
Mm.
already done the work for himself. We don't even know. 2023 has already set the pace. Now the question is, which is what I had asked earlier, are people ready? Because now they're saying it's going to be paper votes, right? You made a point about paper voting and all of that. And you also made a point about the people that are going to be handling these things. Can they be trusted? They can't be trusted. You and I know that. Mahmoud has come out, has declared and said what he said. We don't know. Maybe in a couple of days they're going to have him step down so that a more loyal person can come on. Do you understand? Because I'm
Mm.
pretty sure that Tinubu is already doing something there, just like they're defecting up and down. Okay, he already has something in his, that he's going to pull. So my question to everybody is, you have to literally take this bull by the horns. Literally, you have to treat the people. You have to match their energy from the grassroots to when they collate. People have to surround the very key places that are going to be counting paper.
Mm.
You also have, nobody can sleep. You cannot sleep. Forget about sleep. For that period of time they're going to be voting, forget about sleep. People need to mount guard in all those specific locations, because it's middle of the night that they declare
Yeah.
results. We cannot afford to make the same mistakes again. It is now literally do or die, because that Nigeria needs to be taken away from those people. It needs to be taken away from. They don't have any good intentions. IMF, I saw a tweet about IMF saying, just put out a flimsy note saying, oh, that they should, that the money that has been spent has not been used correctly, or some bullshit like
Mm.
that. I'm like, when you people keep giving this man, you people want to wreck the country, Sha. It shows that you don't mean well. And the beauty of this all, that Nigerians, this is another opportunity, because somehow, right? Uh,
Mm.
Donald Trump doesn't care. Okay, that's
Mm.
another. That's one thing that Nigerians, will look at and say, because if it was during Obama, what's her name, this lady that did not win the election, almost forget, they will support him from the back. They will even send delegates to go and represent and go and be, what's it called, put their eyes down during the election. So
Yeah.
people need to know what they are doing. Nigerians need to know what they are doing. They need to literally take their fate in their hands right now. That's what it is. That's the only thing that will determine, that will set this upcoming election apart from the one that was had in 2023, because these people do not care. They are willing to die for what it is that they want, even though it is not in their, they are willing. Question is, are you willing for, because it depends on who wants it the most. When this man came out and was saying, I am the Emilio Con, I'm the one, nobody knew how he was going to take it. Ashe, you already had the plans all figured out. So Nigerians have to be ready. We cannot be beat again twice. The reason why they are putting out, they are saying, oh, nobody can, people should just forget it until 2031, is to put fear in people's mind, and also to make you feel like you're powerless because he's the one he's the one there, he has all the, or everyone in his pockets. But it is the people that actually determine whether he remains there or not. How many are they?
So,
You know?
what I think is that the political establishment, the fraudulent establishment, they will disintegrate, before the election in
So
a way that people will be surprised, because they are giving the impression that they are united, but there's a lot going on in their camp that they don't want people to see and hear about, because they have control of the mainstream media. So so many people are not seeing what's going on. Regarding the coalition, the North, the North will resist Tinubu for sure. The North will really, really mount a huge resistance. Whether they will be able to, Tinubu will recline to ethnic sentiments. You understand? And that's what he's doing now. He's trying to, the appointments and everything, Southwest, trying to buy some governors in the South, is to try to rally a strong Southern front, so that
yeah,
it will
but
be.
we have weak southern. Look at all of them decamping to APC. This is my problem. The South seem to be, because if the North is holding the top, the middle
Mm,
belt people, maybe I don't know, this Reverend Father of Benue State, the man is looking like the guy is a weak guy. He's going to join APC. It's
mm.
written all over him. Okay, even Moftwang, I don't know. He might not, but he's also, whether he go best because they blocked him from providing tools for his people. I don't know if he's going to be angry enough to say no. I'm not decamping. We don't know that. So now
Mm.
the South, we have how many governors? Edo State, that one complete capture. But it's the people on ground in Edo State that will really determine. It's not even the government. Let's be very factual. If they are able to match these people energy for energy, they can't take it away from them if they decide to. Delta State, the sheriff don't decamp go APC. Okay, that's number two. Okowa, where the former VP candidate, that one said don't decamp go APC.
Mm, mm.
Wetin they call am, Cross River, that obobo man, he don decamp. Okay, that's four. The South is made up of the dumbest leaders. I'm sorry. There
So,
is no unity amongst them at all. They don't even fight for the rights of no goddamn person. They are
mm,
like mumus under control, remote control.
so the thing is that the North and the South, they are the same thing. Those leaders are the same thing, really, because they were not put there by the people. They were just imposed. So I think they are the same thing. The way the Southerners behave, they can all easily be bought by money. The same way the North is. The reason why it looks like the North is putting up some resistance is because of the fact that Tinubu is a little bit very extreme in his nepotism. Buhari was very, very nepotistic. and Tinubu took it to another level. That's one. Then also another thing is that you don't want to rule out the role of external influence, external factor, geopolitics in this. Remember that there was a coup in Niger Republic. And in the whole of those things, you know that there is a hand in Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, and all that. There's an external hand in those countries. You understand my point? You can't rule out the influence of Russia and China in those countries. You understand? So don't think that Burkina Faso, that they are fighting France alone on their own.
So what helps? Okay, go ahead. I'm trying to.
Yeah, okay. And now I will explain it. So
Okay.
before, it was the US that brought Buhari. It was
Right.
the US, Obama,
Right.
and the rest of them that established the APC and brought Buhari. But you know how some of these Fulani people, how they be. Buhari, after his first term, because Buhari was not like a pro-US person, they just used Buhari because they just wanted to capture Nigeria and drag Nigeria back. So Buhari was the tool that was available. So Buhari bought into Buhari was never in their camp. Buhari was never like a CIA asset or whatever. But because they were told that this is the only guy, you understand? So they used him. So Buhari almost clearly, remember that before the 2019 election, that El-Rufai, because Trump was the president then, and El-Rufai made a statement when he was asked about the election observers, and they say that they will go back in body bags. You understand my point? So after that time, Buhari had fallen out with some of those people that put him there. They were no longer there, but they were still there because during Trump's first term, he didn't understand fully how deep-rooted the Democrats were in the system. So he was the president, but they were still deeply rooted and still manipulating things across the world. So they were not like in very good terms with Buhari, but they still saw him as someone that will maintain the status quo. So they allowed him to remain in power till 2023. You understand? But before 2023, Buhari was not like keen on the US arrangement. So he now was cutting the BRICS people, Russia and the rest of them. So that was why even in that BRICS currency, you saw that the Nigerian language there is Hausa.
Yes.
Yeah. So northern Nigeria, before Buhari left, had some kind of strong romance with Russia.
Okay.
Already had a lot of influence already in Niger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So they already had a lot of influence there. So that's why when when Tinubu came in, and it looked like the North were not getting a good share of the political positions. They had that to like rebel because Tinubu thought he had bought like everybody. And now Joe Biden is no longer there. So Tinubu is now left without much defense, except Macron. That's why they are now coming, not like they are different from the South, but because they have like some backing. They have what's giving them morale. And in the coming days, it will be worse. The pressure on Tinubu will be, much. That's why he's just doing everything possible, trying to get anybody he could, pastors, clerics, whoever on the side, because the pressure is much. He doesn't have the American backing. Again, they're still fighting their own issues. EU, they have their own. I think it's only Macron now.
Yes. Because Macron too is desperate because he's lost a lot of free gold, free mineral resources. Because
Yeah.
Namibia has kicked them out, Mali kicked them, Niger kicked them, Burkina Faso kicked their
So,
asses out, and
yeah.
many a few other countries. I can't remember which other one. I think
So
yeah.
the coalition cannot work without P2B. You understand?
Hmm.
So the
Why?
coalition cannot work because there is nobody. So if they feel that Atiku has been there for God knows how long,
Right.
he wouldn't be able to challenge Tinubu. They
Mm-mm.
know that clearly well. The
Yeah,
northern
he's
establishment know that,
overplayed already. I think
and
he's
Atiku
overplayed.
will not fly.
Yeah, he won't
There is
fly.
no other person. Kwankwaso is joining Tinubu anytime
Exactly.
from now. Who else is El Rufai is another ethnic champion, but he might not even win a local government.
Lie.
So they have two options. They were thinking that that there was a way they could try to make Peter Obi to be Atiku's running mate and bring the obedient force into it,
Yeah.
try to upstage Tinubu. Their aim is to come back to power and continue looting. You understand my?
Hmm. Yeah.
So, and Peter Obi knows that the coalition, that whatever that their plan is, Peter Obi that is the center of everything.
Yes,
Without
that's
Peter
true.
Obi,
Because
the
when they
whole
were
thing will
coming out
just,
with that coalition,
yeah.
everything was centered around Peter Obi.
So
Yeah.
around Peter Obi, the northern
Mhm.
establishment know that nobody among them can, nobody, if it's just them, Tinubu will just go to bed. No,
Yes.
none of them can challenge. None of them even has the ethical currency,
Yeah.
the moral currency, and whatever to challenge Tinubu because they are the same thing. Tinubu will use his media and destroy them. The only person that Tinubu cannot stand is Peter Obi. And that's why
Hmm.
they know they're trying to. So Peter Obi, the best bet is for Peter Obi to distance to just continue to build bridges, to visit them, and if they decide, you understand, if they
Yeah.
decide to say, okay,
Mhm.
look, Peter Obi, we want to come together and make you the candidate under Peter Obi's terms and support him, good enough, good, and resist the rigging in the north, that's fine. If not, Peter Obi will just generally stay in Labour Party. The trouble in Labour Party is expected because a Labour Party was filled with all sorts of people. It will
Yeah.
take time, you understand? But once they're able to sort out these preliminary issues, yeah, I would prefer that if Peter Obi is running, let him run under that Labour Party. If they're able to sort out things and they're able to do a convention and get a
Mhm.
chairman and get things going, even if it's 1.5 years before election, let him run under that Labour Party and let all of them support him if they want. If they don't want, and then they want to, but the point is that even in 2031, Peter Obi will continue to remain the only option.
Hmm.
Forget this. If this thing continues and then Tinubu rigs himself in and comes back and continues to visit suffering and impoverishment, there might be a breaking point. People might
Yeah.
people might revolt.
Mhm.
You understand? There might be whatever you call it.
Yeah.
If it reaches 2031, there might be another generation of Nigerians, young Nigerians, maybe another gen, whatever, that will say,
Mhm.
come on, to hell with your North 8 years, South 8 years. We are not accepting that. You understand my point? Because
Mhm.
that is a demonic formula that
Yes, it
is
is.
only
It
benefiting
actually is.
them.
I don't understand it. I feel like ripping that shit apart. It doesn't make any
So,
goddamn sense.
so, so because personally, I don't think that it is fair that in Nigeria, where you have more than 100 ethnic nationalities, to say, oh, these people are the majority, these
I'm
people are the
telling you.
minority, and say, oh, Yoruba has done 8 years, it's now the turn of these people. It's now what about the other ethnic groups.
Ethnic groups, thank you.
Are they
Always
not
ethnic
human
groups.
beings?
We have
Don't they
to be
have the capability?
frustrating.
So
Exactly.
it baffles me, and I'm an Igbo person. You understand my point? But when I hear people saying that it is the turn of so and so based on the fact that they're one of the so major ethnic group, that does not fly to me, because all the ethnic groups are all human beings. They are all blessed with immense leadership talents.
Exactly.
So why would you say these are the major? And then people will come up with this nonsense that they keep on saying elite, elite, elite. I've told them
It's
many
so
times, let's
annoying.
do
That
away
elite.
with
Do we
that
even have
word,
elite in Nigeria?
elite. Those people that they even call elite, I look at them. You call someone elite based on the fact that the person was able to be the biggest thief. Eh?
Exactly.
What's the basis of that elite? In this
And being
country
able
where
to
we live, who are the
steal
elite?
people's money.
He say so people, Fulani, so elite, that we should go and learn politics from so and so. Go and
I'm
learn
telling you,
politics
that
from
thing
so and so.
annoys me.
What are we
Yeah.
learning from? It's not like, like we've had, in the history of Nigeria, we've had people from Benin, Urobo, Yoruba, Igbo, what have you, Idomatic, that blaze the trail in the world. They have done things in science, in sport, in whatever, across the globe. We've not had like many from the Fulani. Like, what are
Exactly.
we learning from them, really?
Nothing. Apart from terrorism. Nothing else.
like when people say we're going to learn because they are so good in policy, what have they done with it, really? It's not like, okay, that they've used it to build some kind of tech hub in Kano or Kaduna or Jigawa, that the whole world is going for industrial tourism, or what exactly? Is he learning how to steal, how to kill, or what exactly? Are you asking me to go and learn? as in this Nigeria is very funny. I'm
It
telling
is.
you. So many things that, like, so many traditional sentiments that people are just holding on to.
Traditional sentiments that have not taken us anywhere. Traditional sentiments that is taking us back into the abyss. It's taking us to the 12th century. Taking us back. Everybody is moving forward. People are moving forward in technology, new innovations every day. Look at countries, look at China. China has left the entire world behind. Eh? China has left the entire world behind. We are busy. I don't know. I don't understand. Stay humble. If you're speaking, I can't hear you. In case you think I'm hearing you, I can't
Sorry?
hear you. Okay.
Okay, no, yeah, the lecture that Peter will be his outing at John Hopkins, yeah, I really
Mm,
enjoyed it. Yeah, I watched the video on Ginger Media.
okay.
Um, though the recording wasn't really the best, but you
Okay.
know that I don't think he goes with like a media team to
Right.
capture some of this. I think it's just some people that will
Mm,
just on their own record some of those things. Yeah, but
right.
you see that there is a difference between people that have been tested and then people that just want to just want to cash in on some thing. Somebody like Shore, for example, in the last few months, he's been like more aggressive, it's been like more critical, and then you'll be
Who is
asking
that?
yourself,
Who's that?
Shore,
Critical of what? What's he doing?
P2B,
Exactly. Oh, I wanted you to land. I wanted to attack.
P2B.
Would you
And then you'll be
Kenya, you say
wondering.
Odumeje don't release his own address. Which address?
So,
Odumeje they run for president. Yeah.
and then you'll be wondering, you know, and then there are some other people online, even some people running YouTube channel, and then they come out initially, like Showore, for example, he belongs to the school of thought of Wole Soyinka. You know, let us not make any mistakes, really, because sometimes, because we don't want to say things the way they are, we want to be politically correct, and we miss out some important facts. There are still some people. There are still some people who still hold on to this sentiment that is it time yet for an Igbo person? You understand my point? I think Wole Soyinka is among the people who still hold that, or that it's been written that it's not yet time. Here's
How do they determine the time? God, now, wow. How do they
these
determine?
older people, there are so many things that they held on to, that they thought that they were the Alpha and Omega, that they were the people to decide. They didn't know that there will be a time when there will be an IT revolution and power
Honestly,
will leave their hands, and they will become less popular. And their books will just be in the archives of some older men in their libraries, and some people will not even know about their books. Just go to the street and ask someone to name just one of Wole Soyinka's books. Any 20-year-old person on the street, he wouldn't be able to say one. I'm telling you, it's not a joke. But in those days, you just meet someone, they will rattle like 10 of his books and even summarize them. so, so Showore, what he does is this: he comes out and tries to buy some sentiment. He say, "Oh, he's supporting Nnamdi Kanu." That old policemen everywhere, and so he uses that to try to curry that sentiment, so that people say, "Oh, that this guy is fighting for Igbo cause." You understand my point?
mm-hmm.
But deep down, he thinks that if power that he has fought for, that he has fought for this democracy, that if this power leaves, that it has to be him. Who is this P2B? Where was he? Just a trader somewhere, that kind of thing. So that superiority, this thing still exists. There's that superiority, this thing that still exists, that is that after these people, it has to be these people. Some people still retain it. Yes, that
Wow.
people that the British have given power. That if it's not them,
Telling
then
you,
it's
don't
this.
brainwash them, don't deceive them. Think say they go true. Wow.
People still retain this. Fortunately, we have an army of youths who are dissociating themselves from that sentiment, which is really, really good. Who are going for competence. They want to know who you are and what you want to do.
That's it.
Not so the questions that P2B was asked, like he didn't need to, he didn't need to be verbose, he didn't need to consult Oracle, or those were like basic things that he, and probably even the first question, the person thought, oh, that he had gotten him, oh, that you've said a lot of things, ideas and stuff that you do. He thought he had asked, It was just a very simple question because when Peter Obi was governor, I was a secondary school student in Anambra. You understand? Reading politics voraciously. You understand? I followed his government. In fact, I studied government with his government. You understand? Yeah, he was
Yeah.
very, very practical. And I learned a lot about how to run a government
Mm-hmm.
and how to be a public servant. A public servant. And it's rewarding. He's walking about freely, good health, everything. Some of his colleagues are are in one difficult situation or the other. You understand? So
Mm-hmm.
very practical. He didn't fight Babangida. He didn't do protest or whatever, but he was governor for 8 years and he managed the resources well. He served his people well. If he's walking on the street of wherever, or nature, or Kanewi, Ago, where are you? As in people will, as in, as in, so he's so loved, doesn't need security, to walk freely on the streets of um, the state where he was governor. Tell me who among the governors, even Tinubu, that class of governors who can walk freely on the streets of his state. Tell me one single in Nigeria without security. None.
No, the thing is that um yeah, Peter Obi is a project that sells itself. Nothing needs to be done. The most important thing is, what are the people going to do? This is the question I have been asking. The people need to be ready to take back that country from the hands of the people. There has to be matching of energy from the bottom to the top. No middle ground. I'm telling you. Because as we speak, I'm sure that what's his name, Tinubu is buying up the people he needs to buy. The student union government is in his pockets. NLC, we all know. TUC, the same thing. So the man he's locking down everything, but he will make a mistake. My own is that Nigerians need to be ready. That's just
Yeah.
it. Are they going to be able to match the energy? That's it. That's all I'm concerned about. Because nobody's selling, you can't even sell, before you even say one or two, everybody don't know. Everybody knows that Peter Obi is the hottest babe in town. He's the hottest. Every man wants to, if you're saying a woman, every man wants to marry her, right?
Yeah.
Now in the Peter Obi case, everybody's courting him, like, oh, come and form coalition, come and join us. And then you all the people that are doing coalition are saying, well, we think about who we discuss it and come to an agreement of who will carry the candidates, thunder fire all of them.
Even
Peter Obi does
that
not need it.
coalition might even be a trap.
It's a
It's when
trap. I
everybody
said it here.
join
I say it is
SDP.
a trap. Then when Peter Obi enter, they will call the essence of Peter Obi go diminish because they know his popularity. People like us
Yeah.
that don't want him to be associated with these crooks, these demonic entities. Once he joins me, I don't wash my hands for much now. What's the point? What's the point, right? Then with
If
regards
Labour
to
Party
show,
is not able to, like, if yeah, yeah if the crisis in Labour Party like continues and becomes refractory, the best bet is to like join another party, really, because to set up a political party in a Tinubu era is almost impossible.
that's it.
Otherwise,
That one you cannot set up you cannot, that one,
if
if you
it
get
was
that one,
possible, we would have
it's
done
not
it. But
possible. They will
yeah,
frustrate
yeah,
everything.
it's
Now, with
almost
regards
impossible.
to Showere's issue, I mean, when I'm very reluctant to talk about Showere because whether we like it or not, say maybe it's all all wishy washy, but at least it's having an effect in a way, in a sense that it's always going to help people get out of jail. he's pushing buttons and all of that. With regards to that, I give him his flowers. But you see, when you are constantly somebody that has not done anything whatsoever to you, but all that we have seen so far from the person that you keep attacking is love. He's always expressing, he's always showing you love wherever you guys run into each other. For you to use him as a topic for dragging every single time is very irritating. It actually makes me feel like all that, all what people were saying that Shawore is controlled opposition, right? I'm beginning to believe that he's controlled opposition, especially with the recent video with he and Nuhu Ribadu. And by the way, there's an older video of him with Nuhu Ribadu. Apparently, they've known each other for a while, right? The same set of people. If you are coming so hard on Peter Obi, everybody knows the role Nuhu Ribadu has played in this whole security thing. How come you are not attacking the people that are causing the problem? We don't see you going hard with Tinubu. We don't see you going hard with this same Nuhu Ribadu. I say, no, this guy is in control of the opposition. Everything that they've been saying is true. I'm glad that video came out. Because if Peter Obi was the one with Nuhu Ribadu, we no go hear words. Shawore go don't come out, he go type, he go say, see, this is why I keep saying these people are all the same. Is he not all the same with them now? He looks like he's even more the same. He even resemble them past. What he is pointing the finger and blaming somebody else for is completely guilty of it. This is what is happening. He's completely guilty. Behind the scenes, I won't be surprised if this man is dining and whining with them. I'm telling you, I don't trust him anymore. I have to give him his flowers, but when I keep seeing him going in on Peter Obi every single time, this man has not mentioned your name one day. He has not even responded to you one day. But you keep coming after him. Yes, that means you are jealous of the man. It's not his fault. If you do the work, maybe give him a run for his money. Go to IDP camps, go and visit people, IDP, go and sit down and eat with them. Go to the north, you understand? Go and feed them, go and build well. Give Peter Obi a run for the money, and then let the Nigerians be saying, now wow, Peter Obi, Shawore is catching up. Oh, what's happening? No, do you understand? No, you are not doing that. He said your focus is any move he makes, bam, you don't tweet, you go Twitter more, you go insult, they try to look, and you don't know. I've said it every time Shawore talks about Peter Obi, his popularity shoots up. Every time he talks about Shawore, Peter Obi shoots up in popularity. You cannot do that man any wrong. And again, I've heard people, anytime I say this thing, people will come and say, you're too Peter Obi can do no wrong in your eyes, whatever. It's not about that. The man is the best candidate. He clearly can do the job. My goodness, who not like better thing? Who not see me see trouble? If now my country person, he come from my country person, as long as if he do the work, I go support him. If now he did your person and he get he sabi do the work and they move things, I go support. I don't care. Me, I know it's not about ethnicity for me. If you can do the job, now person when if you do the job, now they support. It's just the fact, So I don't know. It can't be like saying, wait till they talk about Shawore. Not true. I not trust the man again. Nothing when that man fit talk again. That video when it come out with him and Nuhu Ribadu, they hug each other. They hug, they happy, even they throw hand up for the man. That's suspect. I'm sorry. Nothing that man fit talk again. May not mention Peter Obi mouth. Even if you mention it anyway, it doesn't make any difference.
So one of the reasons why they are not bothered about Shawore, during Buhari's time, when Jonathan was there, Shawore was all over the place doing. Jonathan did not bother. During Buhari's time, Buhari and his overdrive, he arrested Shawore and stuff. But Tinubu is not bothered. You see, Shawore, they are not bothered about Showore because even the northern establishment, Showore will not um, Showore will not upset the system. Really, it's just noise.
He won't make
Understand?
any
If Showore
impact. How
becomes
many votes did
president
he get the
tomorrow,
last time? He can't. I'm sorry. He's inconsequential. He won't even make any impact. How many votes did he get? 40,000. 40,000.
no. If he becomes the president, for
He can't
example,
become the president. Sorry.
no, if he becomes president tomorrow, they are not worried. You see, there are certain things in Nigeria that they are no-go areas, even when Jonathan was president.
Mm.
And those are the things that have kept Nigeria back. There are certain things, no-go areas. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, historical things. There are certain negotiations, certain contracts. Crude oil, there are people that are cutting crude oil as we are speaking now. Foreign
Mm-hmm.
governments taking all these mineral resources and all those agreements are there in place. Those ones, you don't touch them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they won't support anybody that will come and say, look, let the resources of Nigerians be used for Nigerians. Yeah, it's not even all about, oh, this one is for Niger Delta. If Nigeria's resources
Mm.
is used for Nigerians, it will go around and everybody will be
Of
happy.
course. Of
Everybody will
course.
be happy. Whether that resource is from
Yes.
Niger Delta,
Or
it can
from the
be used to
north, from
provide
anywhere. It
health for
won't bother you.
everybody, provide education for everybody, provide infrastructure for everybody. Everybody will be happy.
Yes. We won't be saying
Now,
when we
what
are talking,
else?
we'll be talking like one. We won't be talking like I won't know whether nobody will be concerned. What concern me, you concern me. Everybody go to jollof. If there's
Um,
something, everybody comes together and resolve it.
Another thing, census. The first census in Nigeria in 1951, it was it 51 or 53? 1953. That census, it was the British that conducted it. It was rigged. They just manipulated the figures, just brought out whatever figures. Another census in 1963, rubbish. So subsequent censuses, they will just bring out the figures, multiply, divide, and that census. So they don't want anybody to come out and say, oh, we actually want to count Nigerians, because census is very important. You use it for planning. You want to know not just about that so people are more in number. That will help you in planning. If we know, because even the censuses in Nigeria, nobody knows as you are. Nobody knows how many you are in your tribe, which is a
For where
disservice.
guess
Which is
work.
in your ethnic group, which is a disservice to you because they don't count you as anything.
Of course, they don't.
So they say no tribe, no religion, which is
Uh-huh.
absolute rubbish. So there are some ethnic groups that have gone into extinction because nobody.
Exactly.
So then census will also take into account how many primary schools do we have, how many children aged so and so. That will help in planning. So they don't want anybody to touch that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Voters register, they don't want anybody to touch that.
Mm-mm.
Seaports, construction seaports, refineries, and all those, nobody to touch that. So those
Exactly.
things are no-go areas. Reforming the military, reforming the police, no-go areas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they don't want a bit. It's not like everybody in Nigeria knows that P2B will turn Nigeria around. Even the clerics in Sokoto or Zamfara, they know that P2B is very, very competent, to do. But, they know that in that competence, it will also, that there will also be a turnaround. Everything will be reformed. There are some things they don't want. It's like the skeletons in the cupboard, all those
Guess
secret
what? It's not
places, they
up to
don't want.
them anymore. Let me. You know what? I think from now on, right? This is my opinion, right? We should stop. There's certain words we should not allow in our dictionary up until after the election. At least that one I can do, even though I will still be observing for the election, right? They, whether they like it or not, it will turn
Mm.
around. whether they like it or not, we are going to collect that country back. It's not by their, we will take it from them. We will run that country as it should be run, equitably. Do you understand? Peter Obi will come in, right? And he will, everything that they've been sweeping under the carpet, we will remove the carpet and sweep, use vim and bleach to wash it out. All those fabu lies of last 100 years, we go expose everything. It needs to happen. You know, if they go on like this now, it cannot continue like this. Now, lie, it's not possible. Me, I'm not even living this one. We are not even living it for the generation coming. We need to take it now. The generation coming is too much. Where do they want to start from? They go fair learn the history. They will fair understand. So that when they are fighting with understanding. We are not leaving anything for them. We have to determine this one. We are collecting it so that we can start laying the right. There's no time. We can start laying the right foundation. Because of Nigeria and some of the countries that have puppet leaders like Nigeria does, Africa cannot move forward. It's frustrating.
Africa cannot.
We must stop using language of, and when I'm saying this, I'm not referring to you, stay humble. It's just something I've been hearing so often that I just remembered now to bring it up. We are taking, you see how APC is going on and praising themselves, and they keep telling themselves, oh, nobody can do this one. This is what we need to be doing. The word, listen, we are taking back the country, whether Tinubu likes it or not. How many there be? We need to be determined to make that happen. It's the action that matters. It's the word of mouth that matters. We need to change it. The same way they are trying to use psychology. We need to ramp up our own psychology on them. Who there be? How many there be? Yeah, they have the power of this thing, but you know anything can happen. The power of the state, you don't know who's going to work against you that day. With all the control they think they have, let me tell you, somebody might just wake up one day. It don't be like a computer where battery, you see say the battery no dey work again, you don't get the thing under control, you forget am, all of a sudden the go just by itself on itself. That's what's going to happen. So we must determine to get that country back. We're not going to leave it for no goddamn next generation. It's too much work. Look at us, we're almost breaking under it. No, I beg. We must get that country back, and we must start by laying the foundation. Sorry, go ahead.
So have you ever asked yourself again the reason why the protests that they have called during Tinubu's time, they had not been very successful?
They are controlled now.
Yeah. So this concept of controlled opposition. So, but the thing is that their intention was that Showore would come in and pull a lot of crowd.
Yes.
Because after election, he has media. He has media presence. He has Sahara reporters and stuff. The thing was, that they started spreading some stuff that even platforms like Naira Land is one of the most dangerous platforms in Nigeria.
Is it still operating?
It's operating. It's very huge because it's like multifaceted, a lot of interests and disciplines. You can see sports, you can see health, wherever. But the political section of Naira Land is something else. The owner, that Naira Land is hugely ethnically bigoted. So so the intention, is to pull a lot of people, a lot of young people, and keep them in their bank. You understand? So that during election or when a real protest is called, they would have those people. They will be able to control those people to determine whether they will participate in a process or not. But that has not been successful. You understand? That has not been successful. They have not been able to pull a lot of people to their side, and that's why he's frustrated. You understand? That's why he's frustrated. The interview he granted to Noble, one Noble Nigeria who runs
Hey, that was a gossip session. I'm sorry. That was
huh?
not an interview. That was more or less like a gossip session where they were talking about Peter Obi having a 10
Yeah, and the
one.
Noble guy is
That was a gossip session. That one not the podcast.
yeah,
I'm
an
sorry.
anti-Peter Obi person. Yeah, he once interviewed David and tried to corner David into working with Shore and other people, but David didn't buy that. In fact, David was very annoyed with that suggestion. Even when he interviewed Dele Farotimi, I was asking Dele Farotimi about the coalition, and Dele Farotimi said, "Look, that the most important that coalition is the coalition of Nigerian people."
And
So
that's
I
the
think
fact.
those. You say?
I say, and that's the fact. It's a coalition of
Yeah,
Nigerian people. They will do
yeah,
this
well,
thing
yeah,
to determine.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he said that in that interview that um after the NSAS that some people came together picked Peter Obi because he was a boy, the boy of the star. He was the boy of the establishment, blah blah blah. That this and that. Yeah, because after the election, they went about saying that the obedient movement had collapsed, that the obedient movement picked Showore as the candidate, this and that, and it was all over Naira land and other places. But again, those lies would not last long before they are just busted. And yeah, so many things will be thrown at us. Like they will throw a lot of things, a lot of challenges. And yeah, the process is a learning process, really, because this is the first time, that very young people will be galvanized, to this extent in the internet age. So it's a learning process. Sometimes people will be psychologically impacted, weakened, because because they have all the money and everything. By the end of the day, they will not win anyway. They will collapse because the political establishment, they will self-destruct.
He
With
said,
what I'm seeing, they will
yes.
self-destruct. They will fight each other and destroy each other. You understand? It would surprise people, these things that they are doing, because no, if you are fighting a system that is very strong and you want to displace them, they will give a fight back. So fighting back, but yeah, at the end of the day, they will give up. They cannot stand, this generation
They can't.
of
They are
dictator.
helpless because of
They
the
cannot
power of
sustain this
social
battle.
media. Yes.
They cannot sustain the battle.
Yeah.
They will yield at some
Yeah.
point. So they're just, fighting with their last strength now. They will
Exactly.
self-destruct.
Exactly.
You
It's
understand? They will
exactly.
self-destruct very soon. The way they will collapse will shock many people.
Mm-hmm.
The way the establishment will collapse in Nigeria will shock many people. And then many people will be like, we thought these people were strong. Like there have been strong systems, there have been strong empires. The Roman Empire fell, empires had fallen. Babylonian Empire, so the way they will capitulate will shock people, just overnight, and people will just wake up and see that these guys are falling today. They'll be like, what happened? So, but again, coming to the elections, people should be ready to not just to defend their votes, but to make sure that that they are ready to, even if they manipulate figures, that they are ready to say no, it cannot stand.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when people might fight to defend the votes, and then they might say, okay, you won so polling unit, you won so polling unit, because you might be in a polling unit and they tell you, okay, your candidate won that polling unit, then your candidate won that polling unit, and then when they now go to the chamber where they collect everything, you might not be there. And then when they will announce the result, and then when they announce the result, and then they go to crown the winner, they will not go and crown the winner in their house. They will crown the winner in Eagle Square. And if we are there before them, they cannot use the Eagle Square. You understand?
Yeah.
If you go and live there in all the places they will use, what would they do? They won't go to the person's house and crown the person.
So I have a question, right? So I don't know if you were aware. A party told me they said they are going to be doing a 7 million, how many million something in Abuja, Eagle Square. Do you know about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know
when are they planning to do that, and how is that going to be effective? I'm just curious.
Pat Tommy is a funny guy. So the thing is that Pat Tommy is a repented establishment boy. We use Showere's term of calling them, but is a repented establishment man. So they still think with their cap, with the elderly cap. When they think it, they still put on that old man cap to think, and think that we'll just buy some of those funny hook, line, and sink. How would you say you will mobilize 7.2 million people? Like logistically, how would you do that? But I think that if 50,000 people, even if 10,000 people at the national 10,000, you know what 10,000 is? Like 10,000 people protesting at the it will collapse.
10,000
The
people
lawmakers
only.
will run away. You understand? If 100,000 people alone protest in Abuja for 3 days, 100,000. Do you know what 100,000 is?
It's a lot.
There will be no road. There will be no movement in the whole of Abuja. Nobody will be able to go to. Nobody will move. 100,000 people protesting for 3 straight days. The government will collapse. So someone telling you 7.2 is just joking.
Because I was wondering, I was like, why is this man saying 7.2? Does he know what 7.2 million? And how does he want to organize that? How? Because he seemed to be, because the
And he
last
said they will
comment.
protest in December.
Yeah, he said they will protest in December. Okay, let me see. Let me read.
Well, the thing is that don't take them serious. They're just the big tent. No, I don't think
So
that.
you
If
think
you
that
want
they
to
are also
protest,
controlled opposition? You think Patitomi is public?
no, not that he's control. It's just that drank the white man's tea. So the caffeine that they got those days from the tea is still in their system. I think we didn't drink tea. By the time our generation grew up, there was no tea. You understand?
Yeah, exactly. They left nothing. They left no crumbs for us
So
at
there's
all.
nothing. So they think that they'll just tell us a figure and we just believe them, that we don't have sense. Those kind of things.
Oh, so
Some
you
of these
just
old men
throwing that
already
figure
have
out.
dementia, so um some of these old men already have dementia. So they will just wake up and say 7 million people. They might not remember what 7 million means. There are some states that are not up to 7 million. You will uproot. What's the where
Let me
which
play this video now. Let me bring it because
vehicle we use to carry them?
this part you told me video. I want us to listen to it because when I heard it, I was like, "Is this man for real or is he kidding? Is he kidding or is he just playing with somebody's feelings?" Let me play it here. I dey bring am because make all of us hear am together. May not be like say I make am up. All these people they sabi speak English, Queen's English. Hey, they want to, So let me see.
Welcome to the Tuesday Tonic. I am Pat Utomi. The Freedom Converge that we're planning to bring 7.2 million Nigerians into Abuja to occupy it until freedom goes back to the Nigerian people is motivated by a troubling, a deep crisis of elite. I mean, there are those who I think of it as a Tinubu problem, but it's much more than that, much worse. He may be a stimulant in some ways, but the crisis is deeper and much worse. And if we don't halt it, there will be no future, I can assure you. Now, Pastor Bakare, in enumerating some of the sources of that crisis as a Tinubu problem, has talked about state capture, which I've talked very often about. They talked about judicial capture, maybe not so much about judicial capture, but the completely useless 10th National Assembly that we have. And he has talked about the push for one-man rule, the domination of society by a strong man. Those are symptoms. There's such a much deeper crisis of elite. If we go back to the 1950s when elite bargains necessitated a federal structure, you saw young people who were committed to long-term goals for their country work out an arrangement. That's why the federal structure remains the only way that makes sense in Nigeria, a true federal structure. Military rule destroy that. But as you can see, the civilians have not done enough to reverse that because they see that as an elite, they can profit from it, from the rent that it gives them. A long-term good of Nigerian people doesn't seem to quite strike them when they get this opportunity to take care of themselves. And this is really the Nigerian tragedy. And so part of what this whole movement is about, and this is why we don't just march into Abuja. It will take 1 or 2 weeks of educating people where they live about how a country can care for everybody, how a country can be led by the right kinds of people, not be a criminal enterprise, how a country can develop a strategy for national growth that will make us not just be like our peers, but surpass them. Our peers all left us behind. Because the story of Nigeria and Indonesia is a classic example. But almost all of our peers left us long, long ago, far behind, because of a crisis of elite. How do we correct this crisis of elite? That's why we're marching on Abuja. And it's going to be a huge march. I mean, let us just look at the troubles that face us regarding an ineffectual National Assembly. Mr. Bakare did a good job of dealing with that. Let us look at what judicial capture has done to us. Let us look at how a failing media, let's not pretend, Nigerian media has been a terrible failure. They make an effort, some of them, but they're captured easily. Poverty has reached everybody. So those who have the strings pay of journalists in our country can get the kind of robust discussion it got when we were in our teens and early 20s and functioned as reporters in that country. The real problem in Nigeria is that in the elite struggle to get a piece of the action for their own survival, they forgot the people, the Nigerian people. People without whom justice, the only way they can deal with things is to turn to violence. And violence has made it very difficult to produce. And then worse still, the elite are so obsessed with their self-surviving that economic policy is all about stabilization, and nothing about real growth. You don't grow an economy by the kinds of things we're doing. Those stabilize you, give impressions that things have turned around, but in the end, you're all dressed up with nowhere to go. So it's time to change all of this. Let's continue. We'll talk about this some more next week. And by December, as a country, we'll be ready for change, ready for a new kind of Nigeria. And I assure you, Nigeria will rise up again.
All this I assure you, at that language I dey panic when I hear assure you, because they remind me of Buhari Bubu. I assure you. He said December. Did I hear that right? Eh? Stay humble. Did you hear December? This whole thing that is prepping for, is it for December? You're on
Yeah,
mute. Oh.
December.
It's for December. It's still fun
Yeah, I
now.
watched the video earlier.
I think say na
When I heard
yesterday, na
December, I
tomorrow
didn't
na
even.
one be this thing. Eh?
When I hear protest in Nigeria, I just don't take them seriously. Protests.
So
See, when you announce protests, but
no
the
longer a
easiest way not
protest.
to protest
Mm-hmm.
is to announce it. They announce it. The time that show is bring back whatever does. They will announce on May. So we are doing a
Exactly.
protest,
I
and
don't
then they
like
will
that
try
idea.
to.
I don't know what they get from announcing it. There's nothing. You're announcing it, it loses its effect. They have your political and plan. Protests are unannounced. I don't understand, Sha. Oh,
All
yes,
these things, just like you said, they have their intentions and motives for
exactly.
doing these things. So that's why the first the first protest that they did in during Tinubu's government, Southeast shunned the protest. You remember?
Which protest is that one?
You remember the end hunger, whatever.
Oh, yeah,
The one
and
that they
that
arrested
announcement.
some
Yeah.
boys in the
So I
north,
remember then. Yeah.
bearing Russian flag. You
Mm-hmm.
remember that there was no protest in Southeast at all.
Yeah. They were doing
People
sit
just
at
went
home
about.
now. Yeah.
No, there wasn't sit at home. People went about their business.
Yeah, no, Igbo people did not come out, which everybody understood. Everybody, I mean, not everybody. When I mean everybody, I mean those of us that were aware. Why? Nobody even mentioned their name. They sat it out like, no, there's no need, because which for me, I don't know. Nigerian protests is always they're always announcing. They're always playing their hand. For a real protest, you don't announce. You take the surprise element has to be there. If they are surprised, that's when it is effective. But when you announce, it's
Yeah.
problematic.
So why the protest? In fact, even some South states didn't even protest in whole. I don't think there was protest in places like Cross River
Of
and
course not.
South. I don't
Of
think
course
they.
not.
So because um if there are people that understand Nigeria, what is the Igbo people that have seen Nigeria, in his worst. as as you want to protest in you want to protest with a show in a Tinubu's government. Nobody will do that. Not at all. Or maybe tomorrow now, somebody like El Rufai will call a protest. And you see Igbo people coming out doing protesting. For what? Why? See, so, because these guys, we know their motives, they just want to, because Tinubu will be very happy to send military to the
Very good.
southeast, to kill people during the protest. I, yeah, they know that Showore was working for the government, so
Yeah.
it wasn't working for them. When you want to protest and you announce the protest and you submit letters to IGP, NSA, this and that and that and that.
That one no be protest, I beg. There's no need. Anyway, let me wrap
And you
it up.
know that
I don't try.
Showore's people, after the elections, or during the elections, they so much antagonized Delefa Rotimi. So
Yeah,
much
yeah.
antagonized him. So in fact, there was a show I watched, and Delefa Rotimi was there, and Showore's man was there. One Chidi, somebody
Yeah. One to the guy.
that
He
wears
sent
red
for
beret.
better. Mm-hmm.
He came
They
for
all wear
Dele.
beret, yellow beret. Mm-hmm.
And Dele, made it very clear to him that he will not waste time defending himself, that he had made his points clear in the past about his
Mm-hmm.
stand on these issues.
Yeah.
If you want to, and people came out and talked about their plans for Nigeria and what they had done in the past. And people had time to examine them, examine their past, you understand, examine their records in public service and stuff. And people at the end of the day picked Peter Obi based on his past, his records, and his plans. So it's now on them, the show will be to convince people about what they actually want to do. If someone else comes out tomorrow, you understand, and tells us about his past, and we look at it and say, oh, very clean record, very, very good public service record, then, we could now start considering, okay, between this person and this person, you understand. But if you've not been there, we don't know what you can do, really, apart from protesting
Absolutely.
here and there.
Yeah. Anyway, let me wrap it up for today. I beg. I don't try.
Yeah.
Hey. So we move. Paluta continua. Hey. I beg Nigerians. So those of you that are election, Mona radio, they say na PayPal too. There I go talk and reach for today. Stay humble. Thank you so much for joining me on the panel from
Yeah,
beginning to
thank you.
end. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I will see you again another time. Yeah, Walele, thank you very much. Kene, thank you. Yomi was here earlier, I think. Yeah. Everybody that was here, sorry if I don't mention your name. It's not personal. Mona Noves. I beg. I know if name all the names. Mr. Ike, I'm sure he's already gone to bed. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.